if Riot's MMO and WoW Classic had a baby. Now this is about that new MMO that we were just talking about, created by the new studio, Pixel Castle, whatever it's called. That's really made up of old WoW devs and some Riot devs. Ghostcrawler in particular, who left Riot. They were making the new MMO and started making their own. Let's see what this is all about. Asmon was breaking down the news about it.
So this has been announced today. Came out maybe a few hours ago. Ghostcrawler, the guy, used to be the lead dev of Warcraft during Mists of Pandaria. Made a lot of the dev water cooler posts. Left Blizzard, worked at Riot, was making the Riot MMO, and then he left Riot. He made his own company, and he's making his own MMO. And recently, Holinka, who also worked on WoW for many years,
he was the PvP
generally
guy,
well-liked by the community, also came over and is making this game too. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, we saw this.
All right.
This is Greg Street, aka Ghostcrawler. I have founded a new game studio that we call Fantastic Pixel Castle.
Okay.
And we plan to make an epic new MMO. Announcing our plans so early may seem a bit unusual, but we think the way to make the best possible game...
I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like, I didn't expect the graphics to be this good. Yeah. Like, this is way better than what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, this guy.
Is by talking to you.
He left Riot,
our
too. He was at Riot.
Early and often.
Working on their new MMO.
That starts next week in a live stream.
This guy was involved in making Age of Empires 2.
That's a good game.
We plan to share more about the studio, the team, and yes, the game itself. Now, we are early in development, so don't expect to see gameplay footage.
He's a real
But if you're interested in our philosophy and our game pitch, we'd love to see you there.
It's like 10 years
we
out.
even plan to answer some of your questions live.
Okay. November 8th. Is there something I have to do on November 8th?
It's the day after the new patch hits, and WoW.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll look and figure it out. No gameplay footage? That's fine. I don't care about that.
There's no way they don't have anything.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this, and we'll look at everything else. So this is the
website.
This is the page, I guess. This is a YouTube channel, the page.
It's the website. It's not the YouTube channel, yeah.
You enter this in our studio, more than you can know here. Partner with players. Every iteration takes games to new heights. Foster a trusting work environment. Easy to speak up whenever you think differently. Having fun along the way.
Okay, yeah. Diversity, equity, inclusion.
This is great. I mean, let's see what Ghostcrawler has to say about it on Twitter. We'll take a look at this right here and see if there's anything else that was happening. Anything else that was stated.
Coming soon.
So he actually responded to some people saying it's like very early, and he said this. Apparently this person blocked me on Twitter. That's why I can't see their post. Wake me up on release day is a totally fine response. We still want you as part of our community, but we also wanted to take a stab at this in plain sight development for players who are interested in the day zero journey. Okay, let me see here. Choose it. Oh, wow. Okay. So this, oh my God. So they actually have a lot of stuff about this. Holy fuck.
Here's the team.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Look at this. Our goals for Ghost.
They're going to talk about it on November 8th.
This is very interesting. Let's take a look at what they say about their game. As players, we're deeply in love with MMOs for their promise of social worlds, but we also feel that the genre has struggled lately to provide a community that you care about while still making your character feel heroic or special.
Okay.
We believe MMOs have moved too far towards solo adventuring, where other players just often slow you down. We want to bring back as essential pillars of the MMO experience, both playing with friends and building a community. We want to bring back the chance to impact the world around you.
Sure.
I think this is a generally good thing, and probably
says a whole lot of nothing to me, but yeah.
Okay, I understand now. I think this is a generally good thing. I think they should use classic WoW as a benchmark, because I think having solo content in MMOs is like extremely fucking important. Like, if you look at like a lot of the things that I see recently, like with RuneScape, for example, there's tons of solo stuff with RuneScape. Look at the Mage Tower. I am a massive fan of solo content.
I do like solo content too, because it makes you, I don't know, it makes you feel like you're a hero going on an adventure kind of stuff. I do like that, and there's something very heroic about classic WoW and the questing and the leveling experience and everything that does make you feel like you're on some type of grand adventure. That's for sure. It doesn't all have to be centered around multiplayer, even though that's what, really what an MMO is all about. but there should be some good solo content, story building stuff out there that can really give you that sense of, like I said, a hero on a journey.
What he's saying here is a little bit different than that. He's not saying there's no solo content. What he's saying is that in Classic WoW, let's say you're killing one Murloc every minute, okay, in Classic WoW, and you're a warrior. Well, if you have a priest with you, you don't kill two Murloc. You don't kill any warlocks. You don't kill two Murlocs per minute. You kill maybe 3 or 4.
Right.
So you have like a force multiplier on how fast you're progressing and how much progression you're making whenever you enlist the help of other people. And I think that's really what the game should have. Because how many of you guys, whenever you play current WoW right now, you're fighting an elite or you're fighting a rare spawn and somebody else tags it and the health goes up and you get mad?
True, yeah.
It's a symbiotic gaming experience. Well, it's more than that, right? It's, I'm at 100%, you're at 100%, but if we come together, we're not at 200%, we're at 300%.
Yeah.
So it creates a serendipitous relationship rather than just a unnecessary existence. So that's the way I see it.
Sure.
So this is a very good thing.
Although, I mean, that's normal, though, I feel like in fantasy in general. I mean, you take anything. Take Legolas, for example, right? Legolas is a badass. He can kill, an entire group of orcs by himself. And then take Gimli, same thing. Right? He can kill a whole bunch of orcs by himself. But Legolas and Gimli together, they can take on an army. You don't just double the amount they could kill. They back to back, those guys, basically unkillable. I mean, remember how they used to count the freaking kills during the fights? I love that shit. Yeah, or a giant elephant, exactly. Yeah. So I think fantasy-wise, that trope fits. Like, when you're with friends, you are exponentially more powerful than when you're alone. That's fine with me. I don't think that's a problem.
This is, again, why Classic WoW is the greatest MMO ever made. It's because it's created that ability to do it. Let's see here. The world of Ghost. Imagine standing on the weathered cobblestones of an ancient city. In the sky above you are seemingly endless shards of broken worlds, a cornucopia of biomes that promise unlimited adventure and mystery. You are one of the survivors of an apocalypse lost to memory, and rebuilding the world now lies on your shoulders. In Ghost, you travel the world shards to power up your characters, bring back resources, and build your fledgling civilization. By growing and supporting the city's diverse and ever-changing factions, in turn, you'll see the city grow and evolve over time based on the...
I know he has to scroll, yeah.
Oh, I can scroll. I didn't know that. Based on the choices and actions of players just like you, as an epic story unfolds season over season. World of Ghost is an original IP designed from the ground up to create rich and immersive gameplay. It's a fantasy world of heroic adventure where you seek clues to uncover the mysteries of the world and engage with allies and enemies who have diverse motivations, actions, and secrets. You will fight with axes, crossbows, and magic, but we do want to avoid the tropes of fantasy that you've already seen hundreds of times. For example, there will be no elves or orcs.
What?
In Ghost, we are...
No elves or orcs? What kind of bullshit is that? How am I supposed to get my pointy-eared fantasies on? I don't know how I feel about that. Also, the fact that it's a world built up of floating worlds. I don't know how I feel about that either. Like in Outland, basically, which is fine for the Outland. But like one issue I kind of have with World of Warcraft right now is it feels like Islands of Warcraft. Right? Where like every expansion is just another island on the map, and it's just a bunch of islands spread out now at this point. So this game with all these floating worlds, they would just... I'm imagining that every expansion they would just add another floating world. Here's another one. Oh, the mists have parted. Here's another one. Oh, the weird magic that was hiding this one has parted. Here's another one. Yeah, I prefer like there to be a better feel of exploration in terms of like, maybe like you venture further into a continent, or you finally go over these mountains that have been blocking your exploration for a while. It feels less immersive when all you're doing is adding a new island every time there's a new expansion. I hope today's announcement at BlizzCon isn't just another island. But we'll see.
Pouring our passion into our IP development early in order to build something that you can enjoy for decades to come. This is interesting, but I don't think that it's necessary. Maybe. I don't want to see them try to reinvent the wheel and avoid traditional fantasy.
Development on this is like, it's not even in an infancy yet. It's like, it's a sperm. It's literally, this has just come. This development is the earliest of early stages. So but we can't even say this isn't an infancy yet.
Tropes, because
so
probably you're
I'm
going to have a
just
million
making
traditional fantasy tropes. The truth is that, especially with like the way Tolkien is in a lot of ways like the godfather of modern fantasy. Like him, there's obviously mythology as well, but like he's created a lot of what people use even now. And it's so hard to get that DNA out of fantasy, and I don't think that you should. You don't need to. It's good. That's the reason why people have been using it for like over, 100 years or something?
I like my orcs and elves.
So, yeah, I mean, there's dragons. Yeah, I mean, shit, there it is. No procedurally generated races in general. So you can scroll down to first one as well. Really? I didn't see that. Okay, yeah, that's about it. There's nothing else really about that. So Tolkien world building is amazing. Sure, but League of Legends doesn't have elves. League of Legends might not have elves, but it probably has characters in League of Legends that look like elves, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like, they do. Okay, so then they have kind of Janna's like an elf. Okay, yep. It's not that. Right. So you want to call them a different name, that's fine, but they're still elves, and they're still
They have Yordles?
So, let's see here. I'll talk a little bit more about this. In general, I don't think that they need to reinvent the wheel.
I agree.
And I'm very curious to know how something like this is going to work. Because I always like...
Ever-changing factions, too. It says ever-changing factions down here. Changing factions? I hope that's not like a player thing. Look, faction divides in games have been difficult to complete correctly. So they tried 3 factions in... what's it called? In New World, and I don't think that worked out too well. So we'll see.
Earned. Whenever I see somebody talking about how the players are going to impact each other, and the reason why is because usually
it sounds like you're building your own faction in the game, maybe
at the beginning, and too slow whenever the game matures.
Pokemon Go has factions, yes it does.
New World, yeah, I think New World is actually like New World has tried a lot of these ideas, like with having different factions.
No, he's talking about New World,
and it just didn't really work, man.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't. They tried.
I'm going to be honest. It just didn't really work.
I mean, it's not even working in WoW anymore.
I think they should try it. And also, classic WoW, hardcore WoW, isn't working with factions.
Okay, I did not pre-watch this. I know I seem to be saying what he's saying before he says it, but it's because great minds think alike. That's why.
And people are playing on PvE realms. And even the PvP realms
it doesn't work in WoW anymore.
Classic WoW are primarily PvE realms. Like, look at this right here. You look at a lot of these realms, and you want to talk about just only PvP realms, right? Almost every single PvP realm here
99.9.7% alliance
is completely one-sided.
99.8%
There is not
horde.
a single PvP realm that has a balanced population where I can guarantee you it is not fun to play the game if you are being outnumbered like 3 to 5.
Wow.
It's like imagine doing a 3v3 match and the other team is a 5v5.
I could do it.
So look at this.
I mean, do you remember what Blizzard did to try to balance faction battles? Remember Wintergrasp, where like the faction that had less people in the zone got like a little bit of a buff, and that buff scaled based on how unbalanced the factions happened to be? It was cool, but what it did was it also created some god mode characters where, like, say the Alliance was outnumbering the Horde 3-1 in that Wintergrass battle. If you were a single Alliance and you tried to take on a single Horde player in that battle, you got wrecked because that Horde player was buffed 3 times over. It was fun. I loved Wintergrasp, and I actually wish they would bring something like it back. It was the most fun I've ever had in PvP and WoW. But it wasn't a good solution. Like, buffing players to try to balance out the numbers didn't really work.
It's kind of where I'm trying to get at here. And this is classic era.
It was insane numbers. Yeah, it was crazy.
You look at a lot of these. These are like very. Like, actually, I think these are relatively healthy populations, to be honest with you.
These are divided pretty good.
But I don't know exactly how this works. Are these actually healthy? Yeah, this is actually very good. I mean, to be honest with you, this is extremely good. They're clustered together. Oh, they're all basically the same thing, right? Okay, yeah, 53-47 actually seems pretty good.
That's good, yeah.
Maybe this isn't really true with everything, but it has been for a long time. And at least historically, that's been the case. Anyway, so whenever I see factions being used in a game, I think of New World, I think of Classic WoW, and it seems like maybe this is working a little bit in Era, but in a general sense, I don't really think it happens.
Alternate Valley was.
I don't think it works very well at all. And it ends up where one faction becomes the dominant faction, everybody plays that faction, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It's possible, it just needs good implementation.
You either play that faction or you switch servers to a server where your faction is the favored faction.
Of shit implementation.
Nobody likes to lose.
Yeah, exactly. So why would you judge on, you know, oh, we're going to be the one that's gotten it right. So yeah. Anyway, that's one thing that I'm kind of concerned about. Other than that, I think this is always good. Like, is there actual, like, can you build, like, structures where it says you bring back resources and build your fledgling civilization? I'm actually really curious about this. Like, how's it going to work? Are there going to be survival elements to it or what? I think that the survival-based games that have building and crafting in them, having a merge between that and an MMO is something that a lot of people are looking forward to. And I don't think anybody's really kind of nailed that down, or at least not that I've played. So we'll see what's going to happen. Scroll down first page. There's nothing important. Conflict in the Shardlands. Okay,
yeah,
this
the classic
is the
emote.
third
You've
thing
never
that
seen
we're
it,
talking about. In our game, you will alternate between private realms that we're calling blue shards for you and your friends, and more public red shards that deliver a more traditional, massively multiplayer experience. Blue shards play a bit more like a survival game. You and your friends can gather resources, construct bases. Okay, here we go.
There's this like PvP servers and, you know, PvE servers, essentially. Red shards and blue shards. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, Gemini, they did do that with the buff that if you enabled PvP or something and you were on the faction that was more outnumbered, you got a little, you got a buff for like leveling and stuff like that. That's true. They did try that too.
And venture out into the wilderness. Blue shards are extremely variable, ensuring
or
a place of
7
full new discoveries and challenges,
cadence,
guaranteeing that you'll never see the same blue shard twice. Okay, so this is they're procedurally generated. Is that how it works? I don't know. Because blue shards belong to you, your effects on them are persistent and permanent. If you prefer a more competitive experience, you can host or join blue shards focused on guild rivalry or even guild versus guild PvP. So is it like, let's say you have a Valheim. You have your Valheim world, and then you can build a portal out of your Valheim world and then go into the MMO version of Valheim and then bring that stuff into it.
Oh,
because that's kind of the way it seems.
Going from a single player
really
to an MMO world in the same game.
It's a really cool idea. Would it work? I don't know. Red shards, crafted by some of the best world artists and encounter designers to provide a signature multiplayer experience. Massive multiplayer experience, so many players at once. Red shards are some of the most challenging places in the game to survive. So your group will need to band together with other groups to defeat world bosses, collect critical resources, and even open the gates to end-game raiding instances. We expect some of you to prefer blue shards or red shards.
Like Encourage, like opening the gate, doing a bunch of activities. I think that's cool. I used to love that kind of stuff.
Or a way to play Ghost is to travel between both regularly as well as Ghost Central City. Man, what is this really going to be like?
I don't even think they know what it's going to be like.
It's a hub MMO. I think a game with a hub is okay. The blue is more solo and red is more multiplayer. Yeah. Blue is more farming and like kind of solo gameplay oriented. And red shards are more multiplayer gameplay oriented.
It sounds like two different servers, not shards, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Switch between them.
Do you think Trinity should be in the game? I honestly think the only game to do something without the like tank healer DPS meta Trinity is Lost Ark that I've played.
I don't like games that try to get away from the tank DPS healer style of things. I don't. I like the simplicity of those three things, and I like that you can pick which of those three you want to be and then play that style. I don't like the way New World does it, where it's like based on your weapon and you got to level up the skill and all this weird stuff. Where like, okay, now I have a staff, so now I'm a ranged DPS. Oh, now I've equipped a shield and a sword. Now I'm a tank. I get people have tried to change that meta of the, you know, the holy trinity as they call it, or as Asmongold called it, you know, tank DPS healer. But sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I like the way that works. Also, I'm concerned by what I see in this image. This looks like the Maw, which reminds me of the Jailer, which gives me PTSD. So already this game's not off to a good start.
I think Lost Ark is really good at not having that, but they do kind of have that with like Gunlancer and like Bard and Paladin.
And Jailer in this new
BDO
game confirmed.
As well. Yeah, I haven't played BDO enough to really understand that. So I think that honestly, it's just generally better to go with the Trinity.
Yeah,
that's what my honest opinion is. I don't want to see them try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them try to like do something totally new or different.
Making an MMO is already hard enough. I don't think you need to make it harder by trying to create some kind of crazy new system. Just use the stuff that works and try to make it better.
Just do what everybody else does do what works, and then stick with that.
Okay, yeah, same.
If
same
they
thing
think that's not going to work, or that's not what their vision is, and they should do what their vision is. But personally, I don't see a problem with just doing what works.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Hero, but I generally dislike tank implementation. If they use the Trinity, it says so in one of their later titles. Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
You should watch Down Rabbit Hole and Eve. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. Please stop the same thing. It gets boring after a week after launch, just like New World. I don't know. I mean, people have played WoW for years. I mean, yeah, like
too many
what
years.
The fuck? Yeah, they played WoW for years, so I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's the implementation of it is bad. New World is boring on release, though. Yeah, New World. By the way, New World's implementation of like the tank healer DPS meta is like kind of bad.
I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it at all.
I don't think it's good at all. Anyway, let's look at the rest of it. Conflict and Shadowlands, so that's basically it. Fitting into your life. We know there are sweaty raiders out there who will be excited to invest hundreds of hours in the Ghost. Awesome. You have plenty of things to do, including making new characters, discovering new blue shards with different in-game changing rules, and of course raiding. We know others of you like to play lots with amazing games, lots of other amazing games in addition to Ghost. Our story unfolds in chapters, so when you finish a chapter, that's a great time to take a break, and no, you won't get left behind when the new chapter comes out. So, a game where people are supposed to come back and forth into.
Chapters are seasons, that's what it sounds like.
I wonder how it's going to be monetized. Like, I also think, like, this art right here, this is really cool, man. This looks badass.
That is cool.
Here's my problem. Cool. WoW did something very right, but we didn't realize what that something was. I think that you can look at what it was and kind of have an idea, right?
I like the art style there.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, shit. Let's see here. It looks very generic. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Anyway, so play with a group of friends who take the game. MMO is notorious for throwing up barriers to playing with friends, whether that's factions, servers, power levels, class mechanics, and so on. Ghost is designed so that the moment that you first log in, you can be playing with friends both old and new. That's so cool. That means there's probably some form of scaling, or are they talking... Like, I don't know.
Is he talking about a mega server? I'll be honest. Like, the first MMO that has good gameplay, like, it's good, plus it has a mega server, just one giant mega server, will be amazing, probably. I prefaced everything I just said there. But I just think like having a mega server would just, it would be crazy. It might be too much. Who knows? Maybe hub cities would need some type of, where you can't see everybody because there's literally too many people in the game. But just being able to know that everybody who plays this game plays in the same world, to me would be, it would be awesome. It'd be so crazy. I just don't know if the technology exists yet where a mega server can happen.
Dude, I don't know what this is going to be. If I get to interview anybody here, I'm going to ask these questions, right?
Yeah, Microsoft throwing WoW on Game Pass.
Really...
It's kind of off topic, but I mean, I think there's how many people have Game Pass? Game Pass. Let's see real quick. Holy shit. 25 million subscribers? My God. So in essence, if you ever did throw WoW on Game Pass, you would open the game up to 25 million people. My God, I didn't realize there was that many people. Yeah. Maybe they will one day. I think they should, personally. I think they should, and I think they should open it up for console. I don't care if people don't like console players. I just think a healthy population in an MMO is one of the most important things to having a good MMO. So I'd be down. Just add more people. It's fine with me.
Really that big of a fan of scaling. I'm kind of not. I'm okay with like some in-game zones or some zones being scaled up for in-game players, but I like the idea of like going through different zones in different areas. That's why D4 sucks. it's not. Let's see here. Multitudes of classes, lots of ways to play Ghost. It's extremely alt-friendly, so the time invested in one character benefits all. Oh, this is really
Final
nice
Fantasy's
to hear.
on console, so
okay, so they're going with a roster system rather than character-specific progression. That is really, really nice to see. Nice to hear, as I was saying. Yeah, that's great. Huge W.
A roster system.
And this matters because there are dozens of character classes in Ghost. Our hope is you can find a class that really speaks to you. There will be many ways.
Oh, so alt-friendly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when I heard of roster system. So everything goes across your account
roles, some of which will be iconic and some of which will be a little weird. While you have several class options when Ghost launches, even more will be available as rewards within the game. Having a new class to try out is a great way to play with different groups of friends. Ghost Combat combines updated control schemes and UI with classic targeting and combat strategy we all love in RPGs. While not every challenge will need to be overcome with violence, we get that that great combat is critical to RPG longevity, and we are investing a lot of effort and playtesting into this core gameplay feature. Hit me up. I'll tell you if it sucks dick or not. Because, yes, combat is what it's all about.
Give us that alpha
Our goal
access.
is to move as quickly as we can into development, and we have many advantages that will help bring Ghost to you faster than it is for typical AAA games. And we will include you into early development and are committed to making even major changes based on your feedback. We will bounce ideas off interested players from time to time, and whenever we're ready for playtesters, we will absolutely make sure that you know. This is big. Our initial development efforts are focused on PC. That's it.
There you go.
That is very nice.
It's
you
PC
love to
game,
see
surprise.
it. We plan to ship our game globally and localize into many languages. Going into a lot of detail into, we don't worry about don't worry about excessive gotcha mechanics and those loot boxes pay to win.
There you go.
Oh fuck, guys.
Let's hope that remains true. Yeah, he's acting disappointed.
Yeah, well, we had a good run, right? Unbelievably excited about this opportunity to make this game with you and for you and with you. Yeah, there it is. And then there's the team right there. You've got it. So, what do you guys think about this?
Yeah, there's Halinka. Yeah, that's the old PvP guy from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about the game so far? We've looked at everything now, everything that they've released. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think there's enough to really have a feeling yet, but another MMO, hey, why not? I hope every company makes an MMO. It just, like I said, competition breeds excellence. So I'm always down to see another MMO.
I think that it's too early. Yeah, it's like, what do we even really know about this? Like, I just don't understand. Looking forward to seeing more.
I agree and hope so, Patrick.
It's too early. I have no idea what to think about this. Pantheon Part 2.
There's not enough to really
say
have a thought yet.
Pantheon was intentionally trying to be old school. This one isn't. It's funded by NetEase, by the way. That's fine.
Yeah.
Feels like a bunch of text with average MMO wish list so they can pique our interest. Yeah, but I mean, they've got a whole studio together and everything like that. Most modern MMOs should be released on consoles as well. I am a massive fan of cross-platform gameplay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, too.
I think WoW would be better off if you could play it on console. And before you say, oh, it's impossible, Final Fantasy, you can play it on console, and it's fine.
Yep. I just
so,
said
yeah,
that.
You should be able to do that.
Yeah, Final Fantasy's on console. You can even, by the way, there are literally, I think Razer makes it, you can literally have a keyboard and mouse on your Xbox now. Like, the consoles are PCs at this point. They really are. I think the Xbox Series X has the equivalent of a 2080 in it. Now, of course, you're paying, you're getting that tech. A PC is always going to be, a well-made PC is always going to push graphics harder and higher frames and all that stuff. But I don't mind, Jimmy down the street whose parents won't buy him a PC. He only has an Xbox being able to play WoW or this MMO. I think it's good. I hope that they do that one day. And there's even add-on. There's already mods or add-ons now that will allow you to use a controller in WoW. Like, that's totally possible.
Fuck console? Why? Why is console bad? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. More players is always good. Yes, exactly.
The controller, yeah.
Sounds a little bit too ambitious for the no fantasy tropes.
You can use a keyboard and mouse on a
Yeah, I hope
console.
they don't try to lean into that too much. I think fantasy tropes are totally fine. The reason why the tropes are the reason why people they're tropes is because they're popular. People like them.
I think the Microsoft purchase is good. It's good for the game.
Bro, you always shit on consoles? Yeah, I do. I mean, console players are an inferior species of human beings, but they're still human beings who deserve to play video games. Yeah, they're inferior, but they still deserve to be able to play a game. I mean, shit. Yeah, come on, guys. What are you, racist? Let's see here.
What are you, racist?
Do you have any insight about the RIOT MMO or why did Ghostcrawler leave? It probably was either between design decision differences or because of like family stuff, it seemed.
He said, so originally when he left RIOT, he said it was because of family stuff. But then he came out and created his own company right away. So I thought he left because he wanted to just retire and spend time with his family. And then all of a sudden he creates his own company, which is going to take more time than probably his job at RIOT did. So I don't know if I believe that, but maybe he just wanted to do his own thing. Sometimes that you get that point in your career where you just want to do your own thing, I guess. Money is not a thing for him anymore. He's got plenty of that.
What if you play on all platforms? Well, then
PC will always be the master race.
You
Yes.
probably don't have a girlfriend.
But it just doesn't have to be the only
on
race.
console, don't on PC. I'm just done with them putting up shitty versions of games. I'm just upgrading. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. You have twice the reptilian. Yeah, there you go. Scroll down more, please. That's it. This is it. This is the whole thing. That's the whole page. That's the
Maybe
only
I should
info
apply
that
for
we
their
really
legal
have.
team.
I am very excited about this. I'm very curious to see what it's going to be. I hope that they do not try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to go and do everything new and like, oh, well, this is going to be totally different. Sounds a lot like Wayfinder, to be honest. You know what? I was thinking that too. What do you guys think? Does this sound like Wayfinder at all to you?
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Wayfinder looks okay. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of, yeah. It's not a good thing. Well, I think it's okay. Like I put a lot of hours in the Wayfinder. I have 83 hours in the game.
Oh my god.
They're releasing a like a boss, the Reaver King, soon. And so yeah, I think it's a good game. 83 hours in a row is nothing though. How much was sponsored? Like 10? It was less, like 5. Yeah. Oh, it's already up? Yeah, I'll look and see. Fuck all MMOs, only love for hardcore. There you go. Let's see here.
Damn.
Some of the artwork reminds me of Debauchery Tea Party Guild from Log Horizon.
Some of the artwork reminds me, there was that one MMO, was it Avian Online or something like that? Albion? Is it Albion Online that I'm thinking of? There was an MMO that like had a Albion Online. What the fuck am I talking about? Is that medieval fantasy? Is this what I'm thinking of? No, I don't think so. No, I'm fucking tripping. I don't even know where I got this name from. Must have been an ad I saw in a corner of a screen. There was that MMO where like you would log in and it was like a giant floating castle with waterfalls and shit. And I forgot what it was called. It was popular for a little bit. And everyone was trying it out and stuff like that. That's what the art style kind of reminds me of. So like an all-white login screen with a floating castle.
I mean, in like an abstract way. I mean, not a lot, but I can see what you're saying. Sure. Let's see here. Same vibe, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Let's see. Log Horizon's based off of Earth. Yes, it is. The mobile game just dropped. Oh boy. This Sword Art Online, given to floating islands, I'm scared a bit too many of small hub instances that aren't big or MMO-like. Yeah, I think so too. I'm concerned about that as well. Personally hate New World's combat as a weapon class system.
Yeah, it was Aeon Online or whatever. This was the original login screen that I'm talking about. Yep, that's it. Yeah, so that's what the art style reminds me of, because you got floating castle up here. You got another castle with waterfalls right here. Like that. This is what the so far at least these early pictures or art style reminds me of. Definitely, Aeon Online. I was close. Albion's not too far.
I think that they should go with tab targeting. I'm gonna say it. I think that you should go with tab. Okay, so this is. I'm gonna give an extended explanation.
It's literally
of why
the same.
I think it's a good idea.
It's very close to the same. Yeah.
So.
They just added fog. Yeah.
This is what I think should happen. I think that you should have auto attacks and basic attacks be on a tab targeting where you can lock onto an enemy.
I prefer
but your
tab
skill
targeting.
shots and the attacks that you actually need to that do a lot of damage they need to be aimed directly.
Oh shit.
Kind of like a really good example of this is like,
game.
you know, like in WoW, how mages have that arcane orb that they can shoot out?
Yeah.
That's basically what I mean.
Okay.
Or, you know what another great example of this is? Shockwave in WoW. Just Shockwave, right? Like the warrior Shockwave. You aim it, and it hits.
Okay,
and if
yeah.
It hits three people,
so it's not like an FPS aiming with like a little sight and all that shit. Yeah, okay, I could do that.
Down in cooldown in Wrath. I think actually it's like that in retail now too. Yeah. Lost Ark in general, yes. But you should be able to have your auto attack, because I think games do need auto attacks. Because auto attacks
same with like Frostworm's Fury or whatever. It's the Syndragosa, the one where it flies forward. If you're playing Frost DK, you got to aim that. So yeah,
between bad players and good players, be smaller. And you like MMOs are not meant for professional players. These are meant for generally casual players that are not super fast, like hyperactive. You know, that's something like Elden Ring.
Old ass
Those
people
are the
like
solo
me.
Challenges in the game, but the base combat shouldn't be built around that. And so also, there is an exception to this. PvP. I think in PvP, I really, really like how an archer or a mage plays in New World PvP.
Okay.
And I think that you should have to aim every spell and every attack.
In
but
PvP?
I think that obviously they should do way more damage. But that's only in PvP.
Interesting. I would suck even more in PvP than I already do.
You guys don't like that? That's why they're dog shit in PvP.
Yeah,
I think they're higher skill cap. I mean, maybe you could have it to where like you could have a separate option, maybe something like this, right? How would you guys feel about if there was an option to take away the targeting, but it would make the auto attacks do way more damage in PvP?
But then that's the thing. You create a meta then, so then everyone will just do whatever's better. So if you can have the damage of manual aiming, but with tab targeting, then everyone will just do that because that's a better way. That's a easier way to do more damage. That's what people will do. They won't play what they like. They'll play what's the best. If you allow that, I personally prefer tab targeting.
Why can't you just have both? I don't know. I feel like you could just have both, right?
You can have both, yeah.
I mean, fuck.
But a switch between the two?
I don't know. I mean, like a stance. I think it's silly. I don't think so at all. Mobile games out? Oh boy. Too inconsistent? It should be the same. Only crit by aiming. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Yeah, that's very
Only
cool.
Crit by aiming.
Only crit by aiming.
Oh.
Well, anyway,
maybe.
I'm not sure really what would work in general, but I do think that you should have some form of tab targeting no matter what.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that you need tab targeting
I prefer
is
tab
because
targeting
the people that play MMOs are generally bad at video games. They're generally older. And if you don't have tab targeting, people can't keep up. You get a lot of people here talking about how tab targeting, say that to BDO players.
That's why. That's why I get what's it called? That's why I get owned by 12-year-olds in Fortnite always.
BDO is nothing compared to those two games, and those two games are tab
Black
targeting.
Desert Online.
What about New World?
Yeah.
I think New World should do the same thing with auto attacks. Bad at video games? Funny statement. Too generic. But it's true though, right?
I think it's true.
Because a lot of the people that play MMOs aren't like super good at these games.
Most MMO players are not good FPS players.
Because like they're not really competitive games. Like I don't think that you should make the game super competitive, really hard to play, where like people that are really good can like just be massively way better than everybody else. Like you should of course have ways that players that are good can express that.
Of course.
But to the extent that it's like a massive difference, it just makes the game worse. Like look at retail WoW.
I agree.
I don't want to see that happen. It's too much. Yeah, just look at Hardcore Deaths. The players are not good. Good example. Yeah, and that's why Hardcore WoW and Classic WoW is the greatest game ever made.
That's why it's fun to watch, because people
simple.
are not good. They die.
You gonna play Blue Protocol Beta? Yeah, of course I am. BDO isn't so much an MMO with Western content like Dungeons and Raids. It's an Eastern-style MMO with grinding. They just recently started to add dungeon-type content.
I've always heard BDO is very grindy.
I haven't played a lot of BDO. But yeah, anyway, that's generally the way I look at things, and that's the way I think about it. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this or what? I would say that I am cautiously optimistic right now.
Yeah, sure. There's nothing to be excited or not excited about yet, but hey.
I hope it's good.
Another MMO.
Will it be good? I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree.
Genshin allows tab targeting and also allows you to manually aim. You can manually aim to get headshots for more damage. It's crazy how people were telling me that wouldn't work. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I like the idea if you're going to have aiming to have the crit.
Yeah, okay,
you
great.
know, if you aim, you crit.
Let's see here.
Sure.
Ghostcrawler now has had W in a long time. Yep, for
if you
sure.
got to have both.
There's not enough to be excited about? Well, I don't think there's not enough not to be excited about either. I think that we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, this does look very good.
Wake me up on release day. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I agree with a lot of what he said. You know, another MMO. Hey, sure, why not? If you guys haven't heard about this guy before, Asmongold TV, small channel, small streamer, check him out if you haven't already.